much.
Hello, everyone. We are live on Mystic Sisters Live.
Hi, guys. Oh, my gosh. Are you everybody okay? I started looking at the comments. I'm like, ooh, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
hot. It's
we're having
getting
an
hot.
experience.
It's getting hot in here.
We're having an experience. Is this the sun moving into Cancer, Dr. Vicky? Is this the summer solstice?
Yeah, or well, we do have Saturn and Neptune in Aries and fire, right? So you got to expect that. But there was a giant solar emission or something like that, right? There was something like that.
No, but that's just supposed to affect the auroras and the Schumann. It shouldn't make it so freaking hot that it feels like,
Somebody
Jupiter went into Cancer.
left the back door to the kitchen door to hell open.
Like Jupiter just went into Cancer, and so did the sun. And it's just like there were plans and things to do, and it's like not going out tonight. Like it's just horrible.
Hi from South Carolina. Is it hot down there? Sweet.
Somebody moon girl said it was like 100 in Michigan.
100 in Michigan.
Very rare. Texas up to 117.
That's not that rare though.
I wonder how. I would love to learn how they navigate around critical things like the dog. I gave him a bath right last night. We got in. I'm like, I turned on the air conditioners overnight, so he was just wet enough to keep cool. Went out this morning, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Especially, and today's a special day. It's his 11th birthday.
He's 11.
Yes, a master. He's reached the master number 11.
Oh yeah, he's a master.
He's a master manipulator.
He definitely walks around like he owns the place. That's for sure.
Ooh.
So yeah, he's 11, and he only pulled the 10 of Pentacles, but I went to PetSmart and I got him some peanut butter cookies that look like pentacles. I've only given him a half because if he isn't going outside for the next 3 days and I'm introducing a new food,
probably. Yes, it could be a problem. It could make the heat and the lack of air conditioning.
It could make
worse.
It could be a sick dog. And I did crack the windows for a minute because I lit some incense and I just wanted to purge it a little bit. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't open these windows. They're really rough.
Oh, Sweet Millie says it's setting off earthquakes and volcanoes. Are you talking about the mass coronal ejection I'm expecting, and not the heat wave?
Yeah.
Somebody actually had a good question already, but we have to pick our Mystic Sister card before we do that. But
yes.
The question is from Rose Blue. She says, "Surviving Ohio State, the documentary hit HBO yesterday. It will win awards at this year's film festivals, ? Will Jim Jordan resign from this? Will this cause him to resign?" Well, I mean, I have an opinion about that, but we can pull cards.
Yeah.
That's an interesting question. That's something I hadn't thought about. I actually like answering questions I haven't really considered because you know what I mean? Like, I think
you're very neutral about it. You don't have time to force the cards to talk a certain way.
Right. And of course, all the happy solstice hellos. Yes, it was yesterday was I had a wonderful solstice day. I went to the museum with my girlfriends.
Yes.
We ate at the cafe like ladies. I was very, very, very cultured. It was just very good. I felt bougie.
Nice.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. I've been
laid low. I would kind of lay low, didn't really do a whole lot. We knew this heat wave was coming, sort of thing. So try to be a little in and out to help my body go thermoregulate because I knew this was coming. And I wanted to do the solstice on the roof, and it was so windy. I did a video short. It was just so crazy. It scared me.
Yeah. It was super windy yesterday here too. But because it was dry and it was hot, it felt refreshing instead of like it didn't feel like what are those winds in California? San Andreas didn't feel like I was getting blowtorched or anything.
Yeah,
It was a lot. It
it
was
was very, very intense. And I kept thinking the sun is, Cancer's a water sign. Like, just stop it. Like,
It'll come. Don't worry, the water. Believe me, the water
I
will come.
I
I
hold
bet.
back so many videos and so many, even short little clips that I can put together because the wind is so intensely disturbing. It consumes the entire speaker. I have no control over that, and I just shut it off. I'm like, this isn't going to happen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you could take video, but then you have to put music behind it so that you're not just hearing.
Yeah. So I did walk through Pride Fest a little bit. The parade is next Sunday, and this is the festival. So it's vendors, food, and music. And just right when they opened up really early. And then I left immediately. It was brutal, brutally
Oh,
hot. And I looked at some of the vendors and I thought, oh my God, how can you stand being across from the barbecue guy in 90-degree heat? I thought, oh, God bless you. I'm like, you need a blessing for,
90 in Delaware, over 100 by Tuesday. Yeah, here too. We're
yeah.
on
So how are
Chicago
you all getting
usually.
ready for this? We know we have to hydrate, but it seems like it's just not enough. It's almost an isolation preparation.
Well, we just have to be hopeful that we get some that the electricity doesn't go down.
We can pull cards on that
Yeah.
if you like. And there was the solstice, the summer solstice. It is a bonfire celebration. You use fire,
Yeah.
and there was no way I was going to light a candle and try and conjure more heat. So I did a couple of little bit of incense, but that was it. Like, I can't do the you know fire in the house. I did have the oven on early, and that's it. Yesterday, that's it. I'm not putting on the oven. I'm not doing anything.
Christine says it's brutal on the south side of Chicago and that her 14-year-old pug is in for the duration. Same
Yeah.
problem. Same problem, those squishy faced dogs with the
Tony
heat.
Z asked if there was a festival in Andersonville um last week was Midsummer Fest. That was last weekend, I think. Or maybe it was an art festival and this would be Midsummer Fest. Something's burning. Something's burning.
Santa Ana's. Yes, thank you. I think I say that? I don't know what I said. It's okay.
What happened? Hold on.
All right. While they're dealing with whatever they're dealing with over there, we were in the 50s in Washington State. No sun. Yeah, I know. I have friends who live in Friday Harbor. Um, I like the sun, but I do like the cool weather better. So I really liked being in Friday Harbor. All right, let's see what else is going on. Barbecue smell. Yeah. 58 on the California coast. Wow. I'm going to be very jealous come Tuesday when it's 100 in my 200-year-old house with only fans. All right. So, last week, we always pick a mystic, or I always pick a mystic sister card to start, and I just want to remind you what last week's card was. It was a mania, and it suggested that we avoid those repetitive thoughts. And I think the card certainly lived up to the week. So I'm going to pull another card this week. Hopefully, we don't get mania again. I'll make sure that I shuffle up really good. Oh, I like this. This is good. Let me share this. This is funny.
For a second. So
Oh, it's hard doing the fire ritual when it feels like you're in the oven. Yeah.
you're not even gonna fucking believe this.
What happened?
A fire.
Oh, there you go. There's your solstice for you.
No, like a fire in the microwave.
Oh.
Bad.
Uh-oh.
Bad. Yeah, I am like shaking.
Oh no. Do you have one of those blankets that you can throw on
It's
the
out. I put it in. I put the contents in the sink. Giblets. I got it. Let
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, go ahead. Go take care of business. Taking care of business. I'm shuffling anyway. All right. Let's see here. What else is going on, ladies and gentlemen?
Holy crap! Like that's okay. I have somebody staying here, and the microwave accidentally got turned on.
Oh, okay. Oh, driving in the heat. Yeah, I hear you, Steph. I hear you. 100 in Denver. Oh God, you're even closer to the sun. That can't be very good.
Today is a Ten of Wands day.
I used to I have to stay out of the sun because I'm on the doxy for the tick bite.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, she said you'll burn faster. I'm like,
Yes.
oh, faster than 5 minutes? Oh, that's gonna be great.
Yes. Yes. I'm so sorry, you guys. There were old
What is that?
old nicotine batteries.
In the microwave?
Yeah, I never use it.
Oh, I see.
I had stuff stored in there, like old ones, and there were batteries in there, and there was a fire in there.
But it's out now. The fire is out.
I don't want to take the batteries to the garbage thing because I'm afraid they might blow up.
Oh, I don't know how that works. If anybody knows about that kind of stuff, please remark. Okay, so I picked a Mystic Sister card for the week,
Okay.
ladies and gentlemen. It's Awakening. So there's going to be a lot of waking up this week. All right, I'll read what it says. Are you okay? Are you composed yet?
I'm barely composed.
Barely composed. Okay, we'll work with it. We'll work with it. Okay, Awakening. I really do kind of feel like people are waking up from this fever dream that we've been in for 10 years. It's crazy. All right. Awakening, sprouting, new beginnings, and dawning. The awakening goddess opens her eyes to a fresh world bursting with life. She sprouts from the earth and is thoroughly grounded. However, she has been dreaming for so long. Haven't we been dreaming? Haven't we been dreaming for a different kind of world for so long? It's so true. She finds she has become entangled in roots. New beginnings and awakenings simultaneously offer exhilaration and recognition of the substantial struggles ahead. Drawing this card suggests that you have found yourself in such a state, but trust that the momentum of nature is on your side. The spring goddess encourages you to trust in your own innate abilities to make progress and have faith that you will push through. So we're waking up. We're a little creaky, a little hot, maybe, but it's good news, guys. Good news. Better than mania, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that is better than mania. It is better than mania. Let me see if I can keep this dog in this chair here and figure out. Yeah, I know they're lithium batteries. I'm reading the comments and I'm scared, but ooh boy. Well, there's fire for you. I had that written down yesterday.
I
This morning
wonder.
I had cigarettes and hot lunch meats.
I
That's
wonder
because
if you
I
could
did.
wrap it in something to make sure that it's, something that's not flammable.
Hmm.
If you could wrap them in something that non-flammable.
I put a bag out. Yeah, I did start
Like
putting
maybe,
them in the
I don't
bag.
know, tinfoil. Does that sound like it's flammable with lithium? I don't know. Does that sound like an explosion?
I smelled it just when some paper caught fire, so it's all like out. But I don't think there's a. We'll see. Oh my god.
Yeah, mania is appropriate for what just happened to Ona.
Just
I
watch.
should I should have pulled that card sooner, so mania would have been done and over.
Oh, it's a Ten of Wands day.
Oh, sure. Yeah, the most fire. The burden bearer, huh? As she holds her very hot dog on a very hot day on her
No,
very hot
I'm gonna
lap.
take care of giblets because I can't even with this dog. Like, still warning me. I know, buddy. I am like something's burning. I heard the beep go on, but I didn't check to see because that could be, something. You took something out of there, or the refrigerator makes the same noise if you leave it open. And then I'm like, wait, I smell fire. Something's burning. And Kelly's like, I didn't turn it on.
It's funny. I'm pulling cards on that Jim Jordan question, but it's interesting
Well,
how.
I'm going to introduce you to, I'm going to tell you about this whole healing art center that I'm becoming a part of, right? And Colleen is one of the practitioners there
Oh, cool.
without air conditioning. And she's
Yeah.
here tonight because it's too freaking hot. And I would never, come on.
I understand.
Started the fire.
So I'm going to just ask the question how this movie is going to affect Jim Jordan. I think that's the question I want to ask.
How this movie is going to affect Jim Jordan.
Yeah, we'll see. Like where is he right now, and how's it going to affect him? Okay. Oh, okay.
Just like the Saturn. I know the Saturn and Neptune are on your sun, Colleen. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Oh, Colleen, don't worry about it. I'm laughing about it. She's all upset. Oh my God, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. It scared me. I'm not. Look at Giblets is even looking at her because she's worried about this.
I've heard that Chicago's got some pretty cute firemen, but perhaps this isn't the best way to meet them. Maybe be better off down at the bar.
You know what I think it is? My neighbors were really loud again. They're never here, right? They're only here.
But when they are, they're loud, right? It's the party place.
And I kind of did one of those things, and I thought, oh God, it just came back to me.
You didn't turn into a Karen, did you? Is that what you?
I did call the desk and I said, hey, you guys, I know that everything is cool, but between the 6th and 7th hour, I do a live stream. So that's the only time, like, just kind of turn it down. It's not a big deal, right? And they're quiet. So, we can negotiate. We can negotiate. So it's nice over there.
Okay.
This movie, Wendy says, thank you, Wendy. It's about time someone shine the light on Jim Jordan. Okay. What did you get?
I started with the Prince of Swords, which is the King of Swords in this deck. And this particular King of Swords, what do you get?
6 of Fire.
Victory, huh?
Yeah. There's an exchange, definitely an exchange in this deck. I would call that.
This card to me seems very manipulative. He's using men as his sort of forces,
Yeah.
So this is like a sort of a well executed way of, I think, bringing justice to a situation.
Yeah.
It's crossed by the interference card. So, you know, I wouldn't say that, getting into a war with Iran is a, like they didn't do that to avoid Jim Jordan's thing, but it may take some of that shine away because there's
Yeah.
other
You think it's
catastrophes
just
happening.
Yeah, do you think it's just narrative? Like they're just saying stuff to like deter us from something because nothing's definitive and it's so, hyperbolic and that kind of thing. Do you think it's just a backstory so
What,
we get
the Iran?
distracted?
Iran? No, I think it
Our
was
involvement.
I think it was planned from the first Trump administration. Yeah. And this I'm the peace guy was the bullshit. That was the bullshit. What did you get as a crossing card?
Sovereignty of fire. So it would be the king of wands.
So that's crossing. That's the crossing energy, right?
Yeah, that is the crossing energy. So it could be more, you know, messages. More when I see wands, it's not just like the fire thing. It's actually like all the information coming in.
It could really be like putting his feet to the fire energy too, right?
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. At the root, I get the three of pentacles. I feel like this is the actual movie. To me, this feels like the actual movie itself. What did you
I
get?
get the wheel of fortune,
Ooh, things are yeah. So this is going to destabilize him.
right?
Yeah.
So would it be trying to destabilize us? Could this be like a
No, I
story?
think this is destabilizing Jordan, right? Because we're talking about Jim Jordan and yeah. This almost looks like a movie reel, doesn't it? Like three
Yeah.
movie reels.
Yes. I see what you see. Mhm.
In the past, I got the temperance card. I feel like they were able to squash it, the information in the past, like just keep it down. What'd you get?
Eight of water, eight of cups, walking away.
Turning your back on something.
Yeah.
So that's the past.
Yeah.
In the sky, I got the Knight of Swords. So this is the impulsive knight.
Ace of fire.
Ooh. Oh. I think this is bad for him, honestly.
Yeah.
I think this is
Yeah.
bad.
There's
Now,
a lot of
in the immediate future, I got the Six of Pentacles, which is success. In this deck, what'd you get?
I got five of air, five of swords, but it looks like there was something that's cut on the floor, right? The scissors are on the floor here.
Right.
And there's a story that's cut out.
This also feels to me like it's not his success necessarily, but it's the movie's success. Maybe it makes a lot of money. Somebody.
It looks like it's at the bottom of a rocket.
Let's hope it's not one of Leon's rockets, because it's gonna. Well, maybe we'll hope it's Leon's rocket, right? Because
And then we get poof, right? And then then it'll go poof. So it might be something that explodes, but it looks like the bottom of a rocket.
So how it's seen from the outside, I get defeat. The Five of Swords, same card you got. What'd you get?
I got five of fire.
Wow. So a lot of fives, a lot of change, right?
Yeah.
In the domestic situation, I got the Five of Fire.
There you go.
Strike. So I think this is going to really mess up his family life.
Yeah. He's he's the magician, so he's trying to like maybe make right, sort of use every tool kind of thing. What a scumbag. Ouch, right?
Well, all he's ever done is waste our time and our tax money. He hasn't done anything constructive.
Yeah.
He's done nothing constructive in his career.
I'll put him on my lap.
Hopes and fears, truce. I think that's probably a hope on his part.
This is Curiosity of Fire. This would be the Knight of Wands.
Okay. And as an outcome, I got the Ace of Cups.
And I got the Four of Air, Four of Swords. So it might be emotional. The Ace of
Big
Cups
emotion.
come up, and Four of Swords, like, he's being shut out. So this might isolate him or make him sort of take a time out and get under the, Dr. Mengele's surgery, get a little thing done, show up somebody new. Nobody's going to remember that because you look different. The story changes.
Underneath it all, I got the Prince of Cups, the Chariot, and then Prudence, the Eight of Pentacles. I feel like this isn't, I feel like maybe he's at the end of his career anyway.
Yeah.
And this is just kind of an embarrassing period at the end of a sentence. I'm not really sure that because they've kept it under wraps for so long that he's going to be held accountable.
And of all the things,
except for maybe public,
right, public admonishment, because if you think about all the other crimes and all the other shit people do, that's like the most innocuous thing.
Yeah, remember when it was the worst possible thing? Now it's like the least thing.
It's the least possible thing.
Well, it really is a terrible
Rose Blue says, has his wife already left him in the last few days? So, yeah. Girl, I got you. I understand.
Yeah. I got the tower. Yes, that question. I got the tower. Yeah, I think this is destroying his family life. That's what I think.
Yeah,
it's doing. Because
it's possibly intended to.
It has to be. Well, I don't think they intended to destroy his family. I think they just wanted to destroy him, quite frankly.
I'm gonna get this dog and stick him on my lap because he's being intrusive.
Okay. I forgot to put this up, so I'm going to put this up. We have to be fancy here at Mystic Sisters. All right, so I think if we're going to feel better that it comes out, but I'm not sure what ultimately it's going to do, except maybe make him go underground and get out of Congress. But unless Trump and his goons do something about not having midterms, I think the Republicans are dead in the water when it comes to the House anyway. So even if he stays in he's not going to have any power because the Democrats are going to be in the House.
Yeah.
It would be good if we got the Senate too, because then we'd actually perhaps be able to get something done. And we'll see. We'll see. All right. So I did that. Now let me go back to the comments. All righty.
The documentary is called Surviving Ohio State.
She saw 5 minutes of the movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
you know what? I don't know if I could stand more than that. Honestly, it would be one of those things that I volunteer for a movie to make an impact on me, but maybe not in a positive way today. I'm like, if it's making that much of an impact that fast, it's probably a good movie. But I don't know if I want to feel like that. I don't know if I want to get into that.
Ohio is a weird state, in my humble opinion. I don't think I've never been to Ohio.
I've been there. I've been to Cleveland. I had to get certified in hyperbaric oxygen medicine there.
Okay.
Because they have like the big machines there, or that's where it came from. Yeah, we've been having some ice issues here, but not anything different than anybody else. We're mostly going to have a problem because it's so hot. That's going to be our biggest issue for the next week. Should we look at maybe a WTF heat wave question.
Okay. WTF.
What?
WTF with all this heat.
And this is when you see like the birds and the mice and everything come out because they're starving. They have no water.
It's a good
And
idea.
there's festivals. So people, like, the rats are all over the place. Like,
This is a good. That's actually a good reminder to leave water out for the animals in this kind of heat. You know,
do that
and
because
certainly the pets, but
they will
definitely,
find your sink. They
yeah,
will.
definitely.
They will find movement there. WTF is with all this heat. Thank you, Rose Blue, is the question. Because like I said, I was wearing a parka like 2 weeks ago on the show. What the hell happened? And that smelled like fire. That's so funny. Oh my God. Oh, wow. What did you get?
Oh my God. Um, well, in the immediate in the situation, I got the moon. So this is a very emotional. It has. Oh, you know what? I had a teacher. What'd you
Four of
get?
Cups. Yeah, Four of Cups. Look, she's pissed off. It is the lack of water or some hydration issue, possibly.
Well, one of my teachers uh, that one of that I learned from. I consider one of my guides, teacher guides. Says that the people's emotions will express themselves through the weather. And so, are people hot under the collar? Are people emotionally distraught? Is Jupiter in Cancer right now? Is it
Yeah.
squaring Saturn and Neptune right now? Yes. Right. The North Node is in Pisces. This is a Pisces card. So I feel like at least the first card talks about the heat is really us being so like fed up. That's
And
how I would read that.
yeah.
What did you get?
You know what? The next card, honestly, the way this story kind of is coming together is it's not so much like what's causing it, but to sort of, remember that the lack of hydration. And then I got the Ten of Swords. So that sentence came back together very nicely, right? You've got to watch this very carefully. And I can't stress it enough. It's still we're just at the edge of it.
Is that the eight of? Is that the eight of?
It's the eights.
Eight of
Yeah.
Wands. That was the next card I got.
Yeah, it's the eight. So expect more, prepare for.
I feel like it's going to affect us in many different ways. It's not just the idea that it's hot. It's going to be hot. It's electrical. People are angry. You know, people don't have the resources to maybe even have air conditioning. This is going to be, it's going to be a challenging time. But I feel like it's going to get over quick, though. If there's a bright side on that, I feel like it's going to get over quick.
Yeah, I do. I get like the Knight of Swords comes up after the Seven of Cups, so there's choices you have to make, right? And some things are going to be discontinued. This is going to ruin some things.
Yeah. Some vacations, maybe. Some plans.
It could ruin hardware. It could ruin software. It could, you know what I mean? There could be some things that are just go get a little glitchy. And then I get the Wheel of Fortune.
Is that underneath?
That's underneath. And then the Four of Pentacles. My feeling is to sort of, stockpile a little bit of stuff that you can survive off of until, a few days, maybe a little bit longer than you usually do, is my take. And maybe things like that require being in the freezer, start picking those away.
So underneath it, I think we were right about about the back door to hell being open because I got the devil. At the root of the issue is the devil, right? Um,
Saturnal, sulfuric.
in the past, I get the Queen of Wands, so this is the Fire Queen. And in the sky, I get debauchery, which looks like a whole lot of sweating going on.
It sure does.
Hydrate, 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 kids.
It sure feels that way.
How about you? What'd you get?
That was where all I picked up until, as I'm starting to look at this together. Then I get the lovers.
Okay. What do you think that is?
Well, in this card, it actually has an anatomical heart. So I would say, watch that sort of.
Watch you don't overexert yourself.
Bring the idea of Pedialyte or electrolytes, and it doesn't have to be Gatorade, but something that
Gatorade is terrible for you. It's got all those dyes in it and
so much sugar.
So much sugar. It's so bad for you.
It's got so much sugar. Trust me, you smell different when you consume a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
It's not good for you. It's not
Plus,
good.
it suppresses your immune system.
It's really bad. But Pedialyte, something like that, is kind of a nice way to go. And there's a lot of even like natural remedies like lemon juice, salt. Like there's a whole thing you can do to get a nice balance.
Right, like and maybe a multi-mineral even.
Watermelon.
In the immediate future, I got the lovers. Choice, Gemini.
That was the next card. I'll keep pulling. I haven't pulled the rest with you. What's next?
How it's seen from the outside, I get strength. This is the 9 of Wands. So fire.
Okay.
The 8. Is that the 8?
It's the 8 of Cups. It's the 8 of Cups. Could that be lack of something?
Lack of water.
I'm going to get this document now. And what's next?
For the domestic situation, I get the 5 of Pentacles. It's called worry in this deck.
I got 10 of Pentacles.
I wonder if it's going to affect. I know they're trying to pass that stupid bill, but I don't think they're going to be able to. Right? When the rich people get all the money,
stuff,
the rich people get all the money and the poor people are worried.
Yeah.
Or I should say the rest of us are worried.
Yeah, Mary, and there's some people talking about electrolyte powders. That's a good idea. I'm so glad that I don't work at the garden center anymore. I am so glad, and I feel bad for those guys because these were days that were so brutal.
Yeah.
And you couldn't have more than 4-hour shifts.
Yeah, because
we're
actually in a parking lot. You're actually on tar, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And that's something else to consider. Like, if you're going to have to go somewhere, you might want to, like what you would normally walk, take an Uber or take the bus or, you have to really think about how much activity you can tolerate.
Yeah.
Because didn't you wasn't it one day last week, it was like 90 and you nearly died coming back from the.
I did. That was the full moon day. I know. I passed by that tree again. I'm like, I need to leave an offering or something. That was like the only way I got home was pulling energy out of that tree. It was so I'm really careful. I know I can't tolerate this. It's brutal. That's why early or late, or you like the roof where it's just windy. You can't feel the sun.
We have triple digits in Northeast Florida for weeks, and they're only reporting that the temperature's in the 80s and the 90s. Wow. Wow. Just
That's
saying.
interesting. Huh.
Oh, you know how in the old days people would be obsessed with the weather? You'd hear about all the storms coming and all that.
Yeah.
Do you hear about any of that anymore?
Yeah, no.
No.
I know that there's been a NOAA cuts and stuff like that, so that there's probably not as much news that way. Like we're not I know there was a hurricane, Eric, somewhere.
Well, I think Kentucky. I
I'm
think
gonna get him
Kentucky
on.
got hit. Yeah, go ahead. I think Kentucky got hit really hard with a hurricane. Not a hurricane, a tornado.
Come on. Okay, all right.
Dragonfly says her phone and computer have been glitching all day.
Have they?
I think the heat does affect that too, but it could be other stuff too. I mean, it's always possible that there's a cyber attack going on, especially because we're in such chaos in this country. This is a golden opportunity for those guys to sort of create more chaos.
Yeah. And I know you're absolutely right. I'm just like reading in the comments. I know it's like, we're just not used to this extreme. It's like days in a row like this. It's really, really bad. It is dangerous. And I lived it there 30 years ago. This happened in 95. I was working at Northwestern and I lived on the 13th floor. And we had a brownout. It was creepy because the street lights were out. The stores were out. It was just nuts. And I had to walk up 13 flights of stairs. We had a brownout. We had morgues full and everything. It was, and I'm like, wow, it's just like that.
Right.
It's repeating itself. It's a 30-year. What's the third? Oh, Saturn.
Saturn. Welcome back, Saturn.
Oh, we're Saturn. Fire.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the problem. Even the birds are hot.
Saturn, Neptune, right? It's going to go back into Pisces though in the fall, and then of course that's when the floods begin. So,
Yes.
right, that's when the floods.
Yes. Do you hear him like breathing like that?
Well,
Yes. And I have the air conditioner on. That's just when it's like he's always climbing hills, right? That's how he is. He's
that's how
11.
I sound. I hate to say it.
Paul is asking me if the building is brick. It's concrete and steel. Cement. It's cement. My exposure is what makes it critically hot. So I've been, putting the shades down in facing east, and there's still a big change in the temperature from this room to, not facing east. Just that's walled off.
Vincent, I think it could be. I
Yeah.
think it might actually be Jupiter in Cancer,
And
and
that
then of course we just had the solstice, right? And
yes,
and so the Sun was conjunct Jupiter, and then of course it's squaring Saturn
yes.
and Neptune, right? Maybe it's a Jupiter Neptune square.
Yeah.
It's something though. It's
And the
certainly
moon is all up by Venus right now, right? I got a picture of him this morning.
the Venus is in
Taurus.
Venus is in Taurus now. Yeah,
Yeah, and the moon made a conjunction to her today, I think.
I think you might be right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been seeing Venus a lot. There were a few days when it was cloudy and I didn't see, but once she hit Aries, it was very visible.
Venus.
Yeah. And
Um,
even with binoculars, it's still just a glaring sort of glitchy looking dot. I would need like a telescope for that one.
I was going to say something. So this week we have Jupiter conjunct the Sun in Cancer, and then that's on the 24th, I think, and then on the 25th. So that's Tuesday when it's supposed to be 100 here in Massachusetts.
Yeah, I gotta look ahead.
We have the Sun Jupiter conjunction. Then the next day is the new moon,
Okay.
and so the new moon is conjunct the Sun. I mean, it's conjunct Jupiter, and there's actually a yod in that chart, and the yod is to Pluto. So
Okay.
fickle finger of fate is pointing to the power of the people.
Yeah. Pluto and Aquarius. Okay. That's a good launch.
Yeah, we have I don't know if people, I think people are sensing it because I know I certainly am. I think the No Kings rally went a long way to that, but
Yeah.
people are starting to feel like they actually have some power in this situation.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really helpful in that respect. It really did give you a sense of the power in the community and like minds and all that for sure. So we'll see. Hopefully the 4th of July one goes well. I'll do my best. And it's got to be closer than the last one because if it's hot, I can't just walk home.
Yeah.
I have to be able to just walk home.
Hmm.
Because the weekend is going to be, we're going to be hosting NASCAR. It's 4th of July. I mean, come on, there's so much going on. And then we've got No Kings on top of it. You realize there will be no police officer having a day off that day. There will be no police officer having a barbecue with their family that day. Right? There's so much going on.
It's actually not the 250th, it's the 249th, right?
I don't know. The
We
250
were
was the
we were
Army.
we were born in we were born in 1776, right? It's actually the 249th. Next year is the 250th anniversary.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things happening on July 4th. Uranus and Venus are conjoining in the last degree of Taurus,
Yeah.
and Taurus is a Venus ruled sign, so Venus is powerful.
Yeah.
That may have something to do with our money. That may have something to do with the economy.
And I was wondering when that 10 of Pentacles came up, like things are going to get even more expensive from that kind of perspective. Utilities, supplies, the supply chain things we were all worried about a month ago.
Well,
Right?
one of the things, and I'm not, I hate to even say this stuff because I'm like, oh, I'm, making it so that, all these terrible things can happen. But one of the ways that another country can really do us in is through our electrical grid. They
Yeah.
can mess it up because it's mostly computerized, right? And
I,
so the only thing I would say about that is just be prepared.
yeah.
Even if you like fill your tub up with with cold water and things like that, just so if who knows, what.
Mhm.
Um, I feel bad for the homeless people. Where are they going to go?
There, all the shelters, the libraries, the museums, anything not just cooling centers, but all those public places are also available for people to cool down. And then they ask us, right? They're like, what, you know, if you know somebody that we don't that might be compromised, please check on them.
They held a reenactment of yeah. This is 1775 was actually when the war started, right? It was 1776 where they had the declaration. The Battle of Bunker Hill was 1775, I believe. I should really brush up on my history before I start talking out of my mouth, I think. But
I can't throw those dates around unless I'm trying to open a locker or something. Like, I've lost a lot of things I was required to remember when other things remembered it for me. I've been playing and hanging around with ChatGPT. We've been going on a couple dates, and I'm like, please don't tell me I have to turn off that other part of my brain where I just did some nice sentence structuring the way you do. I don't have to do that anymore.
thank you, Vincent. This is a good idea. And
Because
he knows because he lived in Texas. This is Texas thing.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
goodness.
yeah. I did, yeah. I gave giblets a bath. I know Christine said that, like a wet towel for Frenchies. I've done that. We've had wet things. So I gave them a bath and didn't dry them off completely for that purpose, just to keep them cool. Made sure all the air was on, and monitor his symptoms. You know, that's all I can do.
If you're a history nerd like me, says Innocent Potato, it's easy to remember dates. Didn't you teach history, Innocent Potato? Isn't that one of the things you did? I think that's an unfair advantage.
I did for a while. There was a time I believe I had like a lot of good number timeline in my bank, and I don't remember stuff anymore like reading a map. I don't have to read a map anymore.
I know it's
I
crazy.
don't have to remember how to get there. I just plug in the address.
Here's another great tip to stay cool. This will be the stay cool, man. Um, um, Mystic Sisters. Bandanas in the freezer. Yeah, I like to take
Yeah.
the cold packs, the ones that if you have a bad shoulder, you put them on, and I'll just put them on the top of my head, and that cools me right down. Or on the back of my neck. That's another thing you can do.
Somebody mentioned in the comments that Trump just bombed Iran. I
I
don't know.
believe I believe we did. Yeah, he sent stealth to do the bunker busters. I think that's what he's doing. Yeah.
Oh, this is just sick.
It's like, do we ever learn? Do we ever freaking learn?
I really honestly I don't think that I don't even know what to believe anymore. I have to look at this. I have to like really look at it. I have to take some of this a little more seriously and a lot of it less seriously, because I'm just sort of getting snippets, and I like my own revisionist, response to what's going on or what he looks like or anything like that. And I have it because honestly, I just don't feel like getting into that sort of cage right now. I'm in survival mode with the heat and everything. So, yeah.
I'm going to pull a couple of cards on this bombing. Where's it going to take us?
Okay.
I think I'm only going to do three though: past, present, future.
Okay.
But we'll see. I say that and then I keep pulling. So this is. Oh, this sounds good. I like that. Iced
I have
peppermint tea.
peppermint tea. I've been pulling the tea that the mint. I have spearmints, and I've been pulling leaves, and it's everything except for coffee, pretty much. I put in the popsicles. Anything I eat or consume has got the mint in it because it's a good counterbalance for me, like a good divergent flavor. So it's not, if something else is too intense, like cigarettes and hot luncheon meat. Yeah, but that's because I washed the dog. I know, but
here's a good recipe to stay hydrated, and it's full of minerals, because that's really the bugaboo is when you get your electrolytes all messed up, right? That's really the problem.
I love
all that stuff. We got some great recipes. We should start a recipe book. Beating the Heat with the Mystic Sisters. Oh, okay. Here we go. Here we go. He didn't do the bombing. He just moved the bombers to Guam as a staging area. Thank you, Christine.
So we are privy to that information. It's sort of like these little tease things that we have to sort of read around the language. So he's throwing out another shiny object. He got the bombs in. I got for the pass, I got the sun card.
Okay.
And that is, that could be where it's all happening. And then the present is the 9 of Wands. And there it is. The 9 of Wands.
Is the 9 or the Knight?
9.
So it's sort of show of force kind of energy, right?
Mm-hmm. Interesting what he's wearing, too. And then the last one is 5 of Cups.
Yeah.
Is that familiar to what you're getting?
I got, in the past, I got the Knight of Pentacles. I feel like this is us holding their money. Remember, we held on to their money. Right now, I get the 3 of Swords. Sorrow, heartbreak, betrayal. And then in the future, I get the Magician. So that could be control, that could be manipulation. It could be, well, I'd like to think we'd stop, but are we going to stop? Are we going to, if we start, are we going to stop, or is this going to be another Afghanistan thing? That's what I want to know.
So on the bottom, I got the Chariot and the Ace of Coins. Ooh. So if there's something, there's an agreement that would happen very quickly. That's the bottom of the deck. So that's after you kind of, been through some stages and steps, is that they can come to, it can come to some kind of contract quickly.
Okay. I got the Queen of Cups, Death, and then Justice.
Okay.
I just hope we don't do it. That's all. I mean, if we have the bombers in Guam, they're sitting there, and they're always a threat, but they may not actually be a thing. But I was watching the guy who was one of the guys, Steve Schmidt, I think it was, and he was talking to I think it was his son, I think it was Schmidt, and they were looking at all the polls, and yeah. Trump is underwater in all of them, even what's going on with immigration. He's like disapproval 58% of the population.
There isn't anything that he's doing that anybody highly approves of. if they got all of his grifting crap, that his shoes, his perfume, his phones, and all that other stuff, if they got product reviews, they're all shit. There isn't anything he's doing to hold himself above water for, acknowledgement, recognition, or a peace prize, for God's sake. He's done nothing but the complete opposite.
I want to read. I want to read something about this new moon coming up, and we're going to be doing
Yes.
we're going to be doing moon shadows this week, sometime this week. And
Yeah.
I just want to. I'm not going to share it, but I'm going to read it to you guys. And it's the new moon at 5 degrees of Cancer. This is the Sabian symbol for 5 degrees of Cancer. It says an automobile wrecked by a train. Respecting karma. The collective will of the community has power to bring destruction to an individual out of alignment with their destiny. The anticipation of the irrefutable consequence of our imperfections. And it continues. However much we honor the right of the individual to be fully self-expressive, it is always good to remember that they must be within the context of the community. Any attempt to repudiate our role as part of something bigger will put us up against our own shortcomings, and we will find we cannot escape the negative side of who we are.
Wow.
So that doesn't bode well for, um, I think, for the president. And it's also the full moon, and it's a 40/4 day, which is his path of life, the president's path of life and life lesson.
Yeah.
And this new moon is right on
It's in Cancer.
Elon Musk's sun.
And so is Jupiter in Cancer. So it's even more.
Mm-hmm. And he's getting more and more emotional. In fact, I just read that he's in a feud again with Trump, or one of Trump's.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I feel so bad.
Can he just get some help and come back later? He's just poking the bear.
Well, I think, maybe their fates are connected. You know what I mean? Maybe their fates are connected.
Fair enough. I'm sure they are. In whatever weird capacity, right? We've looked at their charts together.
Yeah. They're two narcissists in a pod. Those two.
There was somebody saying something at 4313. It might have just been giblets that translated into, you heard a scream or a screech or a femme fatale falling down the stairs in the background. Then it was just giblets being himself.
He was doing what swoon was it?
The drama. The drama is like out of control.
It says, according to according to Keith Edwards, we just bombed Iran.
This is today.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, it's a live chat, so it just happened. We'll have to do a chart on it and see.
We'll do a chart on it, and then let's get a response. How are you guys feeling? What is the first thing that you're feeling right now? Learning this information as it's happening right now. What did you get? What do you got?
Ruination. Ruination. Yeah. Yeah. These are all righteous feelings. We have to let this go. You know that, right? We
Very
can't let this. We cannot let this affect us. We can feel the feelings for sure, but don't hold on to this. Don't hold on to this. I know. I'm scared too. I think that this was the whole. This was the whole thing. All that because one of the few things he did when he was president the first time was kill Soleimani, right?
He's been wanting to do
He's
this.
been wanting to do this forever, the peace president.
I think we got a little bit ready for it in astrology class when we started talking about is it, and then I know on the side I pulled cards. I'm like, yeah, it looks like he's going to, and didn't want to be an alarmist about it, but now that it's happening right now, and all this is going on right now, and I literally just had like a fire in the kitchen, but nothing was damaged. I mean, except for what was in there, right? So let's try and build synchronicities off of.
Okay. I just pulled card. I just asked in my head, what is this going to mean for us, America?
Okay, good. Yeah.
I got truth.
Okay.
Um, this may be as far as we go, perhaps. I don't know. Then I got the Hanged Man, which says we need to look at this from a different perspective, and we need to connect with cosmic consciousness. Because if we do, there's a big new idea and a new beginning. So again, don't doom scroll in your head.
Don't.
Don't doom scroll in your head. But send the light. See, that's the thing. What can we do? We can hold the space. We can send the light. We can fill ourselves up with light. We can't let this get us sick.
And there you go, Vicki. There you go. I got, what does this mean for us? We've got a choice. We've got choices. It's a Two of Wands.
Yep.
All right. So we're going to reach out to the community. You guys, you're going to reach out to us. All right. And we're going to process this in a way that isn't alarmist. Okay. And again, when I say like, think about those core needs, I know that when you have to think about how safe you are, it seems like it's that very bottom level of existence. Assess that. Start there at that bottom. How safe am I right now? I'm safe. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be an intense weekend, and I feel like with the heat wave and the inability to be social and to sort of get yourself away and sort of snap out of it is impeded because it's so hot, that you've got this opportunity to pick up on a lot more news, a lot more feeds, and a lot more social stuff to validate how you're tuning in that day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think we'll see. We'll see how this all turns out. Somebody said that this is good for the Ukraine because Russia was working with Iran on the nukes.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? This has to be a wake up call for all of us, right? Because this is the exact same thing Putin did in Syria. This is the same. It's the same. They're bombing hospitals. Uh, you know what they
Things that were sanctuary off freaking limits, right?
There's no
Hospitals,
limits. There's no limits.
Like, yeah.
Right. And so we have to turn our attention to the better way and put all our energy in that. I don't know what else to really say about that.
Here already we're looking at comments that says, Rosemary says the U.S. hit 3 nuclear sites. Do we even know that they're nuclear sites, or is this already starting to inflate your fear?
Or is this the yellow cake uranium? You know, every every war that we've ever been in, except maybe for, well, World War II, there's a little, what do you call on it? But Vietnam, Korea, Afghanistan, uh, Iraq, all of those wars were based on lies. They lied to us and we went to war, and they're lying to us again. You can bet dollars to donuts that they're lying to us. And so we have to stand up and say no more. This is just one more thing that people are not going to be happy with. A little bit more fuel to the fire.
I just rang in kind of how is this going to impact the collective, and I got the Three of Pentacles. So we're all going to be a resource to each other.
That's right. We're going to work together.
We're all going to be a resource to each other. Absolutely. Damn.
Well, get your bandanas in the freezer and your wet t-shirts. Oh, we'll have a wet t-shirt contest. I like the sound of that.
It doesn't take long when it's that hot, but it's all the way down here, or there's stains, right? I put the shirt on this morning, this green one, and I immediately got a stain. I'm like, why do we even bother not wearing black moons in Taurus? Don't be stupid. Then I had to put a shirt over it to cover the stain.
Well, things happen. It's okay.
Moon and Taurus stuff, that happens all the time.
Yeah. Well, guys.
Welcome, Antoinette. Yeah, we're going to be on this, and we're going to support each other. And in the comments, if you have questions or just need to feel like I need to, purge some, express some thoughts, that's what we're here for. Because, yes, Vanessa, we were just talking about that. Apparently the U.S. just bombed Iran.
Yeah.
Yeah. And oh God, I'm going to process this. What a heck of a freaking solstice.
One last question. Oh, no, that's not it.
You know what, Stephanie? I like that question. Stephanie's question.
That was the one, right? That one?
Yes.
Yes. Let's pick 3 cards on that.
That's even more than a generous than I would do for him. I'll use this deck. It's the end. It's the uncommon deck.
The 5 of Cups.
Yeah.
Which is the same card that the lady on Fox got, the reader on Fox. Got the 4 of Cups reversed. And the 9 of Swords. So to answer your question, Steph, I'd say yes.
Oh.
What'd you get?
You guys. Okay. You saw. I just was shocked. Is this the end? I got King of Wands, and we know he's got a sword sun, but he's all blah, 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 right? And the next card is the Death card. And the next card is the Tower card. So, yeah. It's boom, boom. It's going to happen fast. And we also did one last week about the 4th of July and how there's tower moments, there's Uranian moments, and that.
Well, July is a tower month. June is a devil month. So
yeah.
We're getting to meet all the devils in June.
So if this could be that month or in July, right? And this is definitely a sudden transformation. King of Wands.
I'd be surprised if it makes it to September. Well, is that the 10 of Swords underneath?
The 10 of Swords is on the bottom of the deck. I can't. What's even though I'm afraid to look. Am I afraid to look?
No.
10 of Cups.
Some people are going to be very happy, and some people are going to be very sad.
I was showing Colleen, I'm like, this is the jar of Nutella. This is the emergency jar of Nutella that I've replaced like 4 times already for this, for the moment.
It's a Nutella heavy summer. We'll put it that
For
way.
this moment, like, maybe I should put them up on the refrigerator.
I actually had a thought when he does exit.
Yes.
Right? Like,
Yes.
there's going to be a big void. We're going to have to fill that void with light.
Oh, it's easy. Yeah. Yeah. That's okay. I've been thinking about that too, and what would be my reaction and what would be the appropriate reaction to publish on YouTube. Like, I don't even know, because I don't know. Yeah. So thank you for asking that. I hope it helped. That's how the cards fell out on that one. That's pretty crazy. That's how it is. So I would expect a big change soon. Still feeling a lot of, messaging, fire in the air kind of thing over the doll that I have in the windowsill there. I got a couple spiders, and there was a big web.
Ooh, Spider Woman wrapping him up like a fly and sucking
When the light is right, you could see that the web is right over that, and I'm like, that's interesting. So the spider theme and the drones and the Trojan horse kind of thing. I'm like, all right, we'll see. And then this happened today, so yeah, get some air, take some breaths. Jesus. Yes, Innocent Potato says a huge ice cream party. Mm-hmm.
Oh, goodness. Take care, America. Yes, 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 Sandra. For sure.
Trying. It is time for some Ben and Jerry's. It would be a good time for some Ben and Jerry's.
Yes. Here we go. Oh, this is cute. We'll end with this. Or let's have an ice cream party in honor of Joe.
In honor of, because that's a hard thing to watch.
I know.
You know what I mean? We're going to come out of this. We're going to be okay. We're going to survive. We're going to create more spiritual awareness. We're going to create more community. Believe it or not, we're going to be closer. It's going to be okay.
All right, guys. Well, I'm sure there'll be a lot of exciting things between now and next week. Remember, we're waking up. We've been dreaming this dream a long time. It's going to take a little while for us to get off the ground and get moving, but we're going in the right direction. Yeah. If you can look at this as a wake-up call instead of a continuation of an old way, because we are moving into a new consciousness, and it's time for us to leave the old ways behind. We're in a 9-year after all, and so in a way we have to see the worst of ourselves in order to choose the best of ourselves.
Yeah. And that 9-year, remember that. If you got to be a hermit this weekend, remember it's a 9-year. It was destined to be a weekend of being a hermit anyway. Be safe. Take any just like elevated pulse or shortness of breath, anything seriously. Step back. Stay hydrated. Be good to your little shell. be good to the little sausage of a body. And, you know, the emergency rooms, I can't even imagine.
Yeah. And if you do know people around your neighborhood or whatever, look in on them, make sure they're okay. We need to be here for each other because the government is too busy, um, whatever they're doing. Whatever
Yeah.
they're doing, they ain't doing nothing for us. So we have to do it for each other. All right. Well, next week on Ona's channel, Mystic Sisters. Until then, have a wonderful, stay safe.
Blessings, guys.
Love you guys. Good night.